Good morning, everyone. Good morning, my rebels, my thinkers, my people who are tired of the bullshit. Welcome back to Rise and Shine with Morning Moon. My name is Coach Lacey. This is where we cut through the noise, tear down illusions, and get real. So if you haven't already checked in with the daily foundations checklist and you're here in the group Rise and Shine with Morning Moon on Facebook, make sure that you anchor in with your daily wellness foundations with the checklist in the pinned comments. If you're watching us on YouTube, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching here on Facebook, this replay is only available for 24 hours unless you subscribe to my profile. You can hit the subscribe. It's 99 cents a month to watch all of these cool little videos and a few extra Easter eggs just for you. So today I am talking about something that a lot of people avoid like the plague. I actually had a different topic in mind, but upon a conversation with a dear friend and in reflection of my own journey, I'm pivoting a bit. So today we're going to talk about being honest with yourself. Now, people struggle with this on so many levels, but when you are an active addiction of any kind, this is a struggle that you this is something that you really struggle with. So, I want to talk today about being honest with yourself and being honest with others, of course, but being honest with yourself and critically thinking instead of reacting emotionally and facing the parts of you that you're scared of and the parts that kind of frighten you a little bit and that you don't know how to deal with, that keeps you small. And so we're gonna dive into something really uncomfortable real quick today. Um, but if you can sit with it, it can change everything, right? So most people are professional liars. They're not lying to everyone else. We don't go out here lying to everyone else, but we lie to ourselves. And that's what keeps us stuck, right? We lie to ourselves about why we're stuck. We lie to ourselves about why we're not where we want to be. We lie to ourselves about why we didn't do the thing. We lie to ourselves as to, an example would be didn't go to the gym. I didn't go to the gym because it's snowing outside. I didn't go to the gym because I don't feel like it. I didn't go to the gym because I have too much to do. Well, those things are all actually, those are excuses or lies. So all excuses are lies. And we're really good at dressing these lies up to make them sound reasonable, right? We lie about all sorts of things, our habits, our relationships, our work ethic, our excuses. We tell ourselves these little incremental lies every single day, right? And we get really good at dressing these lies up and making them sound reasonable so that we can justify what we're doing, right? Like especially if we're in active addiction. And those of us who have been in active addiction sometimes don't even recognize when we have an addiction. You can be addicted to something as simple as social media, right? You can be addicted to something as simple as your phone. So, so even if you're not a substance abuse user, you can still be addicted to something and lying to yourself about your bad habit, right? So we get really good at dressing these lies up. It's the I don't have time for that. I'll just start when I feel more ready. I'll do it when I'm more comfortable. I'll do it when the time is right. I don't know how. That's a big one. I don't know how. I've tried everything. I've tried it all. Why isn't this working? I'll just quit. Okay, I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. Not like SpongeBob, I'm out. I'm out. No, you haven't tried everything, right? You have not tried everything. And deep down, you know you haven't. Deep down, we know we haven't tried everything. We know that we have not done everything in our power that could be done. Because if we did, the solution would happen, right? Or a counter to the solution would lead us off into a rabbit hole. There's rabbit holes everywhere. If you read my post today on my Facebook, you'll see that I'm teasing the rabbit hole. Well, everything is a rabbit hole. Everything is a rabbit hole. Health is a rabbit hole. Politics are a rabbit hole. Emotions are a rabbit hole. Everything is a rabbit hole, you know? And this lying to yourself is a rabbit hole. How we talk to ourselves, how we engage ourselves in dialogue is very important. We must be real with ourselves and with our thoughts. Our thoughts are not our own, really. We're like radios that are tuning into different frequencies. You tune your radio station to the right frequency, you're going to be hearing some music. But if you turn it to the wrong frequency, you're going to have a lot of this going on in your head, right? And then everybody else, and it's just like, stop, right? So just remember, your thoughts aren't always true. The things we think aren't always true, right? They're not true. So you have to go through this process of asking yourself. I call it's called The Work. So there's a really fabulous book. It's by Byron Katie. Highly suggest it to everyone who is on any sort of journey at all, to do the work. And there is a workbook called the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. And the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet takes you through a series of questions to ask yourself when dealing with conflict in other people. I would highly suggest it for everyone. I take all my clients through this process when they're dealing with emotional upset and dealing with lying to themselves and others. And this is really hard. Like, this is a really difficult conversation, and this is a really deep conversation that hits hard, right? So it's like, what stories are we clinging to? Life is a story. Everything we do is a story, right? It's all telling yourself a story. So you want to ask yourself, what belief do I have that I've never actually questioned? Is this true? Is this absolutely certain to be true? And if that's true, what does it mean? And who would I be without that thought? So that's called the work. That process, when you have any thought that comes into your mind that could, potentially be destructive, you would want to go through what's called the work. So that is, again, is that true? Is that thought true? Are you absolutely certain that it's true? And if it's true, what does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean if that's true? What kind of action do you need to take? Right? And who would I be without that thought? Who would you be without that very negative thought and that lie that you're telling yourself? What would you do with yourself, right? What belief do you have that you have not questioned? What beliefs do you have that you have not questioned? Like, think about that. Where are you choosing comfort over truth? What excuse do you repeat so often that you've convinced yourself that it's real? Girls out there, guys out there, people out there who are always in this loop of, I'm sick, oh, this, I'm that, I'm that. I used to work with someone who would chronically call in every single day. This woman called, not every day, but like every 2 weeks. You could guarantee she would call in. She had this story wrapped up in her mind that she was sick all the time and that she was weak and she couldn't be mobile, all these things. And the reality is she just didn't want to take a good, hard, cold look at herself and get moving and change her diet. She changed her diet a bit on the surface, just enough. But all those secret eating, right? Secret eating will get you. And so the secret eating and then the not moving and the excuses and the lies you tell yourself just becomes this big spiral, and then you become a victim. Where's the power in that, folks? Like, where's the power in being a victim? There's no power in being a victim. Every single belief you have holds a choice. It's a choice. Every belief that you have is a choice. If you believe that you're not capable, that is a choice. If you believe that things will never work out for you, that is a choice. If you believe I'm just not that type of a person, you are making a choice. That is a choice. Are you willing to examine the choices that you've made about who you are? Are you willing to examine the choices that you've made about who you are? That's rough, bro. That's some heavy shit, Lace. What you talking about? Identity. Who are we? Why are we lying to ourselves? We only have so much time. How many years do you have on this earth? I am almost 40 years old. That has gone by. That time has gone by. My stepdaughter turns 18 very soon. What the F? Where does time go? You do not have time. Stop telling yourself you have time, because you do not. You hardly have a moment to blink, let alone breathe. So don't avoid the real self-honesty because it's painful and you don't want to be uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Life is uncomfortable. You will never be. The only thing that is guaranteed in this life is that you will be uncomfortable. So embrace it. couple months ago, I was at Alethea Writing Center, Disabled Writing Center volunteering. This is a disabled writing center with fjord horses where I do lead walking and volunteer, and I lead the horse while the rider is on the horse going through a pattern. And a lot of our riders are disabled or have autistic or, challenged. And we had two 5-year-old riders who had autism on the horse. And this horse stepped on my toe and I pulled my foot out, and the toenail, I didn't, when you have it, um you don't want to let the horse crush your toe. So I pulled really quickly and it took my toenail. I'd rather have my toenail be gone than lose my, like, have a broken foot, have a broken toe. So, but I had to think about this really quickly, and I had to be very tactful because I had two autistic riders there was actually three autistic riders in the arena. And had I made a big ass deal about it and started screaming and crying and making a big, oh, step on my foot, oh," if I would have done that, those children would have never gotten back on those horses again because it would have been so scary and it would have triggered everything. It would have been a chaos. So I had to really think. I had to critically think in a very snap second moment of, ow, my foot hurts. Holy effing ah. Like, I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. I wanted to create a big deal. I wanted to be like, me, 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 me. What about me, right? The what about me came up, but it wasn't about me. So I sucked it up, swallowed it down, and I quietly took my foot out, walked over to the stage, and I said, I think that I lost my toenail. I think I'm bleeding. I need someone to pull my car up. Just sat there. When we were leaving, I drove myself home. They asked me if I wanted my daughter to drive me home or anybody else. I said no. My daughter says to me, you didn't make a sound. Well, no. I knew that if I would have made a big deal, those kids would have never got back on that horse. It would have disrupted everything if I would have made it about me. But it took me being painfully honest in that moment. And it took me not avoiding my own critical thinking and not leaning into the pain and becoming a victim to make that decision for the greater good of the collective in that moment. My pain was nothing compared to what their experience were long term in their memory. So I sucked it up and I was quiet. I will always remember that horse. And I tell my daughter that, remember the horse. Always remember the horse. Always remember that moment with Zindre. Because me being quiet and just taking it like a man, that's taking it like a man, doing it. That was me not lying to myself. That was me being painfully honest, painfully honest, bleeding out my foot, not avoiding, just leaning in and critically thinking. So, what's the horse in your life? Where is the horse showing up? Where's Sindre showing up in your life? Where are you making a big deal out of things or not? Where could you make a change where you've been avoiding looking at yourself, right? In that instance, I was really proud of myself, but I haven't always been so tactful. I've been quite a drama queen in all of my life. My mother will tell you. But I've gone through a lot of work. I've done the work, right? After my brother died, I had a lot of emotional work to do. After my uncle died, I had a lot of emotional work to do. After Jayless died, I had a lot of emotional work to do. After I wrecked my car, I had a lot of emotional work to do. After I found my dog dead, I had a lot of emotional work to do. After I lost other people, I had a lot of emotional work to do. After I lost my grandma, a lot of emotional work to do. Always sewing the emotional work, right? Emotional work. So what's the questions, right? Anchor in with the questions, you guys, if you get dysregulated. Is this true? Can I be absolutely certain that this is true? If it's true, what does it mean? What does this mean? And who would I be without this thought? Those are the questions. And if you have conflict with people, go look up the judge your neighbor worksheet. You can use it on yourself too, promise. If you'd like to go through this process with me, I do offer power hours for $99. You can go through the process with me. It's really cool. I also couple it with another process, a writing process of writing your past, present, and future. It's really amazing and going through this whole thing for massive change. So if that's something you're interested in, contact me because I don't offer it to everyone. I mean, I do offer the power hours to everyone, but the authoring program is for people really, really ready to dive in. You have to be ready for it because if you're not, anyways, you have to be honest with yourself, right? You have to be honest. So most people avoid real self-honesty because it's painful. People don't like pain. People do anything to avoid pain, right? It's painful to admit you are the reason that you are stuck. It's not the economy. It's not your past. It's not your circumstances. It's not your habits. It's because you're being avoiding the truth and the work. So do the work, right? Do the work. It's really painful to admit that you've been waiting instead of taking action. It's painful to admit that your habits don't match your goals, right? If your daily habits don't match what your goals are, how are you going to make it? It's hard to admit that. It's painful to admit that you could have done more, but you didn't. Let's be real. But the thing is, painful doesn't mean bad. Pain is not bad. Pain is actually your body's fire alarm that lets you know something is going wrong in the body physiologically. And so it's actually a good thing. It's a teacher, right? Pain's a teacher. It's a signal. It's showing you exactly where you need the work, right? If you ignore it, you stay the same. The house engulfs in flames. You ignore the fire alarm, the house goes up in flames. It's done. You're done. But if you listen to it, you can put the fire out and it changes everything, right? So here's your challenge today. I want you to get brutally honest with yourself. Brutally honest. Today, I want you to call yourself out on one excuse that you've been using. All excuses are lies. You need some motivation? Get on YouTube or Spotify and listen to Jocko. All excuses are lies. With oh my gosh, I will post it in the group, but it's Jocko, All Excuses Are Lies, and it is a really good remix. I'll share it in the group with you guys. And I want you to question one belief that you've never questioned before. And I want you to identify one area of your life where you've been avoiding. So those three things again, call yourself out on one excuse that you've been using. Question one belief that you've never questioned before. Is it true? Can I be absolutely certain that it's true? If it's true, what does it mean for me? And who would I be without that thought? Okay, the work. It's called Byron Katie, the work. I want you to identify one area of your life that you've been avoiding, where you've been avoiding reality, where you've been checked out. Where have you been checked out? Let's check back in, okay? And then I want you to decide what you're going to do about it. And then message me if you feel so bold to let me know. And if you want to take a step further, let's make a plan. Let's do it. Stop lying to yourself. If you are ready to make a plan, and you're tired of your own bullshit and you're ready to move forward, apply for free live hot seat coaching with me, where you can go live right here and we'll go through a session and you can see what it's like to go through the work together. I'm doing that for free, or we can do it in private for $99. So apply at Lacey J. Watson, LACYJWatson.com. And my final thoughts for this morning are, if you keep lying to yourself, you'll never wake up. You can't wake somebody up who's pretending to be asleep, right? You can't wake somebody up pretending to be asleep. You just can't. Just can't. So keep making excuses, or you can take responsibility. You can keep being small, or you can step into your power. Yeah, bitch. But you just can't do both. You can't do it all. You can't do both. You can't keep lying to you. You cannot keep pretending to be asleep when you're awake. You can't. It's just impossible. You can go back to sleep, but you can't. You just can't. So set yourself free, okay? Choose. Make the choice. The truth will set you free, but only if you're brave enough to face it, right? So go out there, live like the person you were meant to be. Be real with yourself. It's okay. And if you hurt your own feelings, that's all right. It's all right. Apologize. You good. So I will see you tomorrow morning. I hope you have a beautiful Wednesday. Make sure to anchor in with those healthy habits today. I want to see your work. You guys are doing great, actually. If you're in the group, I'm super proud of you. And I've been seeing people getting added in, and I'm like loving it. You guys are sharing with your friends. You're showing up. You're sharing in the group. Love it. Share your questions, all the things. If you have a topic you'd love me to cover, share it in the comments, DM me, whatever. I am here for you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Rise and shine, everyone. Ciao.